The engagement party was in full swing. The venue, a cozy event hall adorned with fairy lights and elegant floral arrangements, buzzed with laughter, the clinking of glasses and the hum of excited conversations. It was meant to be a night of celebration, a moment to cherish as we marked the beginning of a new chapter. Emily, my fiancée, and I were surrounded by friends and family. I moved through the crowd, shaking hands, accepting hugs, and nodding at endless congratulations. Everyone kept telling me how lucky I was to have Emily, how beautiful and radiant she looked tonight. They weren't wrong. Emily had a way of lighting up a room, drawing attention effortlessly. But something about the night didn't feel right. Maybe it was the way she avoided my gaze at times, or how her laughter seemed forced. I brushed it off, telling myself it was just pre-wedding jitters, the kind of nerves everyone said were normal before the big day. Excusing myself from a conversation, I stepped outside onto the balcony for some fresh air. The cool night breeze was a welcome relief from the warm, crowded room. I leaned against the railing, gazing at the city lights, letting my mind wander. That's when I heard it. The balcony doors were slightly ajar, and I could hear Emily and her best friend, CLA, talking inside. Their voices drifted into the quiet night, unguarded. I wasn't eavesdropping, but their conversation stopped me in my tracks. "You know, I never thought he'd actually propose," Emily said, her tone light, almost amused. CLA chuckled. "Really? Why not? Daniel adores you." Emily sighed. "He does, but let's be honest, CLA. If things hadn't fallen apart with Aaron, I wouldn't be here. Daniel's a great guy, but he wasn't my first choice. You know that." I froze, the words sinking in. CLA hesitated. "Emily, that's not fair. He loves you. You're happy, right?" Emily let out a small laugh. "Of course I'm happy. Daniel's stable, dependable, and he'll never leave me. But Aaron was exciting, passionate. He was everything I wanted. When that fell apart, Daniel was a safe choice. My plan B. And honestly, I'm okay with that. I just need someone who won't hurt me again." I felt like the ground had been ripped out from under me. Plan B? I was just her backup, the guy she settled for when things with Aaron didn't work out. My chest tightened with a mix of anger and heartbreak. The woman I thought I was building a future with didn't see me as her equal, her partner. I was just a safety net. I stood there for a moment, trying to process her words. Part of me wanted to storm in and confront her immediately, but I forced myself to stay calm. If I was going to end this, I was going to do it on my terms. I walked back into the party, the hum of voices and music washing over me. My heart pounded as I made my way to the center of the room, past tables adorned with candles and photos of Emily and me. "Can I have everyone's attention, please?" I said, my voice cutting through the chatter. The room fell silent. Dozens of faces turned toward me, curious and expectant. Emily stood near the bar, her expression shifting from confusion to alarm as she realized I was addressing the entire room. "Daniel, what are you doing?" she asked, her voice shaky. I took a deep breath and looked directly at her. "Emily, I overheard your conversation with..." Her eyes widened. "What are you talking about?" "You know exactly what I'm talking about," I replied, my voice steady despite the storm inside me. "You told her I was just your backup plan, that if Aaron hadn't left, you'd never be with me." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Emily's face turned pale, and CLA looked like she wanted to vanish. "Daniel, please, let's talk about this privately," Emily pleaded, stepping toward me. I shook my head. "No. Emily, I've spent months planning a future with you, thinking we were building something real. But I refuse to be someone's second choice. I deserve to be loved for who I am, not because I'm safe." I reached into my pocket and pulled out the engagement ring. The room was so silent, you could hear the faint clink as I placed it on the nearest table. "I'm calling off the engagement," I said, my voice firm. "And I'm walking away." I turned and walked out of the room, ignoring the shocked whispers and Emily's desperate calls for me to stop. The cool night air hit me like a wave, but instead of feeling lost, I felt a strange sense of clarity. The next few days were a blur. Emily tried reaching out, leaving voicemail after voicemail, but I didn't respond. Friends and family bombarded me with questions. Some were supportive, others urged me to reconsider. But I stood my ground. A week later, I packed up the last of her things and dropped them off at her apartment. She tried to apologize, to explain, but I couldn't bring myself to listen. Her words had already done enough damage. Over time, the pain began to fade. I focused on myself, rediscovered hobbies I'd neglected, and spent time with people who genuinely cared about me. Looking back, overhearing that conversation was a blessing in disguise. It hurt, but it also opened my eyes to the truth. I deserved more than to be someone's safety net. I deserved real love. And someday, I know I'll find it. For now, I'm just grateful I had the courage to walk away.